Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hello and welcome to Back into Alignment here. My name is Joa Rivas. I am a community builder and a realtor from the city of Toronto. I'm so excited to bring you a new series of episodes that will bring stories of thought leaders of our community. If you're here in Toronto, my goal is to bring inspiration to everybody in our homes, especially in this moment that we need unity and we need consolidation of growth together. Very excited to work in a community that is growing together. Today we have Kim Singh. Kim Singh is being my friend for a couple of years, and I'm so excited to share her story. I met her in one of the events for peace, and we realized that we had a path that was aligned together. So coming back into alignment in this podcast, we are bringing back into the changes and transformations that are happening in our community. And it's a way for us to step into our greatness and to hold the space for others also to be able to reach their desires. Today with Kim Singh, we're going to learn about the power of inclusion and belonging. Very important to know that we all belong somewhere. We all belong here in our community, and know that the moment that you realize that you are worth it, when you're worthy, you know that you do have a particular mission to deliver in this life. I'm excited that the story of Kim may inspire you to step into greatness and to get to move together towards our deepest desires. I'm excited also to talk about the mentorships and the educational programs that Kim is part of, and also the grants that she is representing. If you are searching to get into an educational program, she's actually part of these federal grants where she will be providing the path to get access to education for free, so there is no excuses. Kim Singh is a director of consulting services of the federal crown government, and she's also leading diversity, equity, and inclusion with a focus on belonging. Very important for you to hear this conversation if you feel that you are alone, if you feel that you don't know where to be. It's important to know that there are communities that are waiting for you to be part of. Communities in many ways, perhaps a community that is your homeland, or maybe a part of the age where you belong, or maybe a part of your area where you live. So there are many ways to find these communities, and this conversation is going to shed some light into our life to see that there is actually possibilities to be part of other communities. And Kim, especially Kim, is not only a mother, but she's also a transformational leader, and she is also a peace ambassador. We invite you for this weekend to be part of an event where we are promoting fashion arts and film for peace in the world. We are actually reclaiming that right that we have. So I'm excited to have you here and to listen to the conversation with Kim. If you do have some comments, please, I would love you to reach to us. The whole idea of this conversation is to bring more people into our communities and to grow bigger. Thank you so much. Hello, happy Friday, everybody. And I am super excited again to bring you another supernova, another star of the sky that we have here in the earth. I'm so excited to bring this episode with a new story of a beautiful woman that not only excels at home as a mother, but also in our community, supporting our future generations. And it's actually something that not everybody takes this responsibility, and it's very important to give appreciation to those that are actually in this role. So how are you, Kim Singh?
Good morning. How are you, Joa?
Yes, I am here back. I actually was in Florida taking a little bit of a break to balance my energy and back fully recharged. It's very important for us as leaders to take breaks, because we go into sprints, very intense sprints, work really hard, and I love to take a little bit of a break. So I'm very recharged. I feel fully recharged and excited to be back here in Toronto, connecting to our leaders. And I'm excited to share the story of your life, because we've been friends for more than a year. We actually connected through another of our amazing superstars. We have Francine, who actually was in our last episode. She shared her story. And now we have you. I would love to just start a little bit about how did you get into the field of contribution to the community. Is this something that started when you were really young, or is something that just started later on? Tell me a little bit about your story of how you start developing this contribution for community.
Thanks, Joe. I think it all started back, growing up in a third world country. It's survival mode. So you're there, you do what you got to do. We're always wondering what your neighbors are doing and how can you help them. So that intuition is always there. Fast forward, if I go back 30 years when I came to Canada, it was a different mindset. It was about growth, a new bride. How do we figure out what I need to do to survive? And I fast realized, coming from an executive role back home, you're not going to get that here in Canada. So you got to figure out what's next for you. So I started from bottoms up. Like I load trucks at night. I work in a candle factory during the day, put myself through school while I was trying to be a new bride. So there's a lot of catching up to reality came in, and I had to do it all on my own. Like mentoring and coaching wasn't something that was there. Community, maybe it was there, but I wasn't exposed to it. So I felt as if I'm here alone with my husband's family. I need to figure out life. But as I start climbing the ladder in the corporate world, I'm realizing there is a shift in how people do things and think, and there is an outreach there, but I didn't know how to tap into it. So I continue to be very selfish and keep climbing. And then one day I realized there's more to this. There's so many wrong that you see in corporate, but you can't speak because of who you are. You're a woman of color, who's going to listen to you? But I had some real tragic experience in my life as I was going through my journey in the corporate, and I took a step back and I said, this needs to stop. Gaslighting and code shifting needs to stop. And I need to figure out, how do I look down at the bottom of the ladder and start reaching a hand out to people that needs it? And I started getting into mentoring and coaching and reaching out to the community. I currently sit on 8 boards globally and see what I can do with my experience and my journey to enrich other lives.
Yes. Now, with all these challenges that you were experiencing as an individual, and then later on, this actually it makes you discover this skill that you have. I wanted to know a little bit more way back in your childhood. Where are you from? If you can share a little bit about how was leadership when you were a child, and who was your role model?
I am from Guyana, and I would say back home, everybody is your role model. All your grandparents and all your aunties, and they're all your role models, and you wanted to emulate them. Right? We didn't have TV. I didn't have a TV in our village until I was in a teenager age. So I didn't know what it's like to be social media and everything else that's going on out there. We didn't have that. So I gravitate towards my grandmother, who was very cultural driven person, but that was all that was there. Once I started going out and going to school and looking at people, I remember once I saw Joan Rivers and I was like, I want to be her. I'm going to figure out what it takes to be her and be her. But that was my shadow back of my head talking to me, this may be the woman that you want to look like, be like. What that aspiration, how to get there, was really, really hard. It was like a dream.
Very interesting. I'm from Venezuela, so we're actually neighbors. Guyana is right next door. And very interesting too, my name is Joa Rivas, and people always call me Joan Rivers. So it's super funny that you actually commented about this leader. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are listening to this conversation. We look into like Oprah Winfrey. We are always trying to follow these big icons when we actually have icons right there next to our neighbors. So that's what I love about having the Back into Alignment community and also the Championing Hills community, is that we do have already in our community leaders that we can actually get inspired by. We don't have to go so far. And I think that's what happens, especially in my country, Venezuela. There is not really much leadership in the own neighborhood. They only looking on the television or some kind of like really far away goal to reach. So that's why I wanted to know, like, how did that started for you in Guyana, and once you are here in Canada, where you have more opportunities, how you can actually not only think about it but actually be in it as you are right now. Moving a little more into the present moment, I wanted to know a little bit more about your contribution on the Mothers to Daughters, which you actually are a mentor and a coach, and how have you been feeling connecting to the sisters of our community?
Mother to daughters, like I've known Francine for years. I've met her for some time, and I watched her as a friend giving back to the community. And I said to myself, I am doing this today in the corporate world. I'm doing it for other organization. Why not join? So I joined her board. I firstly joined as a consultant on the side because I wanted, if I'm going to invest my time into an organization, I need to truly understand the value that they're bringing to others and what are the nuggets that we're sharing. And once I was satisfied from the sideline, I decided to join as a board of director, and now we're in the midst of launching our program in I think the third week in January. The goal for Mothers to Daughters is to enrich lives, right? What is it our experience look like? What is the value out of our experience that we can take and pass on to our daughters? Be it career, be it confidence, bringing them out of their shell intellectually. So it's a whole journey of understanding what is needed, what is requirement, and we tailored our mothers towards those daughters to offer those sort of guidance to them.
Okay, so as you enrich so many people, including your family, that I know you are a mother. How many kids do you have?
I have two kids, actually two children. They're growing up now. My daughter is 26 and my son is 16.
Yes, well, it's still shaping. I'm imagining how much they admire who you are. I wanted to know if you have a message for those mothers that are in this moment struggling with balancing, right? Because it's so hard for women, especially, to be able to continue with that path in their professional desires, and at the same time continue being a mother that is actually there, presently there. So what would be a good message for you to share, especially for those mothers that are listening, they feel overwhelmed being in the new world, like, let's say, as a mother?
I think you need to take a step back, right? I looked at it in different parts. In my children's eye, I am their role model. I am their mentor. I am their everything. So that's an expectation and a standard I need to uplift to and abide to, because that's how they see me. And the reason why they see me like that is because I took a lot of time to invest into making me the visionary leader I am today, and enough time to invest into the person that I am today. A lot of time went into that. And once you start to appreciate who you are and you master that appreciation, every morning you wake up with abundance and you tell yourself, I am worthy of infinite abundance, right? And I'm that beacon of confidence and success and happiness. The sky is the limit. And you use those same affirmations and energy towards your children, and you make sure you're there as a mother, as a friend, as a mentor and a coach for them. Every journey that they go through, you need to be there every step of the way. It is overwhelming. It's I have my two children are 10 years difference. I need to be an adult to one, and then I need to be a teenager to the other. So it's a lot of compromising within that space. But once you put your foundation as your ground rule of your home, it shouldn't be deviated from.
And in this process of adapting and balancing the roles between being executive director, working on actually the federal government, at the same time being a mother, and having your own, desires, I wanted to know if you have a ritual or practice. You commented already about the gratitude in the morning, but do you have a ritual that you do in the morning, and how do you actually maintain that spirit, that mindset through the whole day, so it can actually stay and you can actually maintain it. So, well, can you please tell us a little bit of the ritual that you practice?
The first thing I do in the morning, so I do have a very high bed. Before my feet touch the ground, I give gratitude. I take that 3 large breath and I give gratitude to be alive. Open my eyes, my limbs are working, and then I take my feet and I make sure that's working by stepping on the ground. Once that is done, I looked out of my windows and I give gratitude to the universe to see yet another day. And I position my mindset in different ways. And I tell myself, I am good, I am great, and I'm the best right now. And there is nothing and no one that's going to disrupt that. I'm going to start my day knowing that I'm valued to me and to my children. And in whatever room I get into, I earn that seat. No one in that room is better than me. It's a mindset shift. And one of the things that I condition my mind to every single day, for you to disrupt my Zen, you need my approval. Until you get that, you can't disrupt it. So I am in control of my mind. I'm in control of my day, and I'm in control of everything that comes to me, which is good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, very powerful. So you literally are your own coach, basically. Yeah, so you do have a voice there that commands you, and you just follow the voice. It's very important because we listen to many voices in our head. I actually been teaching yoga for 20 years, and we always talking about the chatter voice and all these distractions that we get, criticism that we get from ourselves, right? So yeah, it's very important to accentuate and to actually bring attention into those voices that can actually empower us to be a better human. Same like you say. And then literally just ignore the rest of the voices, and slowly those voices will mitigate and will become dust, basically. So yeah, very important to have your own coaching skills for yourself, and that's actually something very important to practice. In the process of becoming a coach, many coaches don't practice what they actually preach, so it's very important that you are your first mentee to
Yes.
follow. Yeah, to follow that. And another, see that I am always around leaders, and I listen to conversations, and I am only listening that is a lot of burnout happening right now. And that's what I actually commented at the beginning of the podcast, that I'm coming back from vacation. And maybe it wouldn't be like the vacation that I always wanted, but it was enough for me to reset myself, my battery, to recharge my battery. It was only 5 days that I needed it, right? Sometimes we are always with this big goal of going somewhere really far for a month, and it's hard for us to reach. I wanted to know if you have any message for people and how to rebound people that are actually in this burnout or depression, right? Like there's so much happening now with distractions, and people are passing through that, especially even leaders. They don't comment it because they feel ashamed of not able to be vulnerable and tell what's happening to them. So do you have any message for those people that actually listen to the conversation? They may feel in this moment fatigue, burnout, or simply not in their best.
So on top of my role at CGI as an executive, I also head D&I mental health. I think our mental health is our golden nugget. Without it, there is no sustainability for ourselves as a human. So we have to figure out right away what is triggering our burnout, and how do we take control of that? Like you said, the bird is on our neck, on our head, telling us different things. Our voice control us most of the time, and we go into that rabbit hole. But the moment you start feeling that need to step away, you have to step away. Like you did, you went away because that was a need, that wasn't a want. So we got to figure out what is triggering our burnout. How do we mitigate it in such a way that it doesn't affect our personal life? Or how do we clearly rip the Band-Aid off of it and attack it right away? For me, I try to stay in a positive mindset as much as I possibly can. I go to the gym a lot, and I give back a lot to the community. I have 18 people today that I mentor, and giving back and see that they're flourishing globally. That for me is my happy juice that I gravitate towards. It is my nectar that I look forward to see someone is becoming a leader, someone is using their voice. So I take any negative energy that's trying to get into my life and turn it into something positive, either through gym, through mentoring, or trying to be the best possible mom I can be to my kids.
And how you do actually rebalance? You have a particular, as you commented, you go to the gym, which is great to rebalance the hormones, to actually feel some confidence as well, and to stay young. It's super important to lift weight to stay young. It's important, and you look great. So
Thank
there are
you.
the results. So yes, that's number one for everyone. I know this podcast, especially this series, is going to be listened by a lot of women. So yeah, for you, if you haven't ever gone to the gym, perhaps taking even 10 minutes to start doing one exercise and become really good at one exercise, that could be the beginning of a journey. But for you, like, do you have any other particular practice that you do? Let's say you take a vacation every 3 months, you go away, you go to a spa, like something that you can recommend, very kind of like particular for those people that are actually struggling with mental health or with burnout.
I think it first starts with mindset, right? You have to recognize that it's a burnout happening. Once you recognize that, then ask you, what is your body craving? Is your body craving to go away? Then find out how you can do that. Maybe it is not financially possible. You don't need to go to this luxurious vacation, like you said, right? You can go to something small. So that's from a luxury point. From a mental health point, you don't need a gym. Go for a walk, right? Get a band in your house where you can do some stretches, 2 small weights. Just, you have to prioritize you, because once you're gone or you're depleted, it's hard to replace you. It's hard to get you back to where you were. So your prioritization should be you first, your job, your family, and everything else comes after that. Because you got to remember, you're wholesome. Nothing and no one else can replace you.
Totally, yes. First you, and you first. It's so hard to actually get this message, but hopefully after this, we will take a practice a day that will keep you in balance. Now, you commented you are so inspired and engaged with 18 of your mentees. I wanted to know if you have a single story that you can share that can have touched your heart from these mentees. If you have hair a transformation that you're like, wow, this is so powerful, I never imagined I could do this, I could help to bridge the solutions this way.
I think everyone has a unique story, but there's one that stood out. There is this young lady I was mentoring from Ghana, couldn't even turn her camera on when I was talking to her because she was so shy. Very, very smart girl, but she couldn't articulate her smartness. She couldn't articulate how good she is and how does she get out of her shell. So constant mentoring plus coaching, I was able to get her, I think, our third or fourth session to turn her camera on. And she's a beautiful woman, and start giving her the confidence booster that she wants and she needs, because her entire life she was put down, right? She is on the a bit on the overweight spectrum, and because of that she was shun at, right? So bringing her out of that shell, having her appreciate her as a person and her uniqueness, truly brought her some awareness and light into her life. And today she is working in a corporate world back home, right? She was able to move from a hot to into like a little condo or apartment or whatever they have back home, and move into an organization where she's a receptionist. Never dreamt of doing that. Is it a fancy job? No, but it is fancy for her. She has come a long way in that journey to be who she is, and I still reached out to her. We still connect once a month to see that she's doing well. If she needs some help and guidance, I'm still here.
Nice. That's, you know what matters is that she's there in front of people, she's greeting people, and every single role, it makes sense. It's needed, and she's there for a reason. And eventually, you never know how she could go to a next level from that position. The most important is to move the dot from point A to point B slowly. As long as we're moving, we are growing. And I see behind you, you have a very beautiful message, creating a cultural belonging. Can you please tell us a little bit about this message? I know you commented that your grandma was already this type of role model in your life. If you could send a message to your grandma anywhere where she is now, related to this, what would be a message that you could tell her?
I think, she would be very proud of who I become because I was the tomboy of the family. I break all the rules, and it was good reasons for doing that with my father's support. Culturally, there's a limitation of what you can do as a woman, as a girl back home. Coming to Canada, I reflect back on, how many times I've made her yell at me and how many times she was upset at me. But it strengthens your resiliency, right? I am unstoppable. There is nothing that's going to stop me. There is no setback in my life, large, small, or indifferent, that's going to stop me from being who I am. The message that I have is focusing on belonging. I also had DE&I for National Capital Region at our organization. My focus is belonging. A lot of organization out there talk about DE&I as a phase or a phrase thing. It is not. It is the fabric of who we are. It is the wealth of knowledge and wisdom that diversity brings to an organization. And when you belong into an organization, it's different than being equal in it. It's a huge mind shift. It's a huge way of thinking. And a lot of organization and communities lost that component of B. So when I talk about D&I, I always talk about DE&I plus the B, the belonging component of it, because it matters. As a woman of color, I did not belong in corporate. I was existing. Right. And there's some rooms you go in and you still feel as if you're existing because you are looked at differently. You're not supposed to be there. Right. It's not, regardless of your accolades, it's behind your name. You don't belong there. So I keep the sign behind me to remind my mentees that you belong. Once you get there, you own that seat. No one in that room is better than you. You may lose your job for speaking up. You may be talked about after that door is closed for speaking up, but you have totally earned your place there.
Yes, it's super important to know that when we belong. We always say you're not alone in this world. You definitely belong somewhere, and that's what we are constantly thriving for. Now, we wanted to continue this conversation for the last segment related to the latest updates that you're working. You commented that there is a campaign that is going to be launching next January for mothers to daughters. And there is also the funding grants, government fundings that you actually are representing. Can you please tell us about these two campaigns that you're part of?
So Mothers to Daughters mentoring program is going to be launched in the third week of January. So if there's women that's listening out there and you feel you need some guidance, and you need to understand where you're going, please reach out. The organization is a judgment-free zone. It's a safe place where you can come and be part of the program. Also, for mothers out there, if you have intellectual properties, which is knowledge and wisdom, that you think you can impart and change somebody's life and move that needle, we gladly welcome you. So that program is going to be launched from Mothers to Daughters in January. Also was asked by an organization to be an education ambassador. As you know, both of us are peace ambassador for the Waterfront Award. So this is another notch on my belt for me. I have been working with some partners whereby we have free, we can offer you free education through government grants. So if you are in the need for upskilling, figuring out what you want to do when you grow up and you don't have the money, reach out to me. If you're qualified, it is free. You don't have to pay it back. These are government grants that's opening to hundreds of programs that people don't even realize that it's there. This is an opportunity for you to upskill and don't have to worry financially where you're going to get that money for. I went back to school and did, my 2 MBAs, and it's a huge amount of debt that I have to pay back. And here's an opportunity to give paid forward, right? It's teaching a person to fish instead of giving them a fish. So I am all about education. I'm all about empowering people. So if you're out there and you're listening and you wonder if I can be of an assistance, please feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, that sounds very exciting that everyone that is listening to this podcast is actually able to reach to you, and we would love to know how can we reach to you. And these programs, are these programs for only people in Ontario, or these are for people that live in Canada in general, or tell us a little bit about the reach of this program?
It is for Ontario right now. There is a variety of programs. You can do it full time, you can do it part time, you can do it weekends. It's flexible. You can do it in person, you can do it virtually. You to reach me, I'm on Facebook. It's Kim Singh. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can search for me there. I'm also on Instagram. Not a lot on Instagram, but feel free to reach out to me. If you feel there's a need, your best way to reach me out is on Facebook and LinkedIn, and then I can share with you my personal number for us to connect and see how I can help pave that way for you. I think success, depending on that first step that you make and that door handle that you turn towards your future.
Yes, 100%. And you commented that these programs are especially for people that live here in Ontario, in Canada. And you said that it's for everybody or for a particular age, like for teens, for like postgraduate. How is it?
It is for everyone and anyone that's looking to upskill. As long as you meet the criteria of your earnings from the previous year and how much money the government can give to you, there is no age limit. All that they ask of you is your time to. These are not just. I need to backtrack a little. These are not university programs. These are college programs. So it's not going to be funded for you to go into like a UFT or Ryerson. It's a college program. So it's something that you need to look at to see what is it you want to do and how can we help you get there, because like I said earlier, we have hundreds of programs that we can help you, and they're grants. They're not loans. They're grants that you would have full access to the money. The education is there for you. You don't have to pay back.
Okay, well, that sounds so much ready to go, especially a lot of people, they are in that type of space where they want to study but they don't have the funds. So here we have that opportunity. And even if it's a short program of a college, sometimes nowadays you can take a program of AI and jump into a new field that is growing unstoppable. So yeah, awesome, Kim. I love this short conversation. I'm sure I can talk to you for longer, and I would love to have you in Champaign Hills, which is an event that I host with Toronto Clubhouse, where we showcase beautiful thought leaders like you that are actually not only thinking but doing. And that's what we need. We need action, because this life is short. We don't know when and how it's going to go. So we got to go and do it right now. I truly believe that we all have the power to make a difference. And this is the way. So thanks so much, Kim. I'm excited to have you soon again and to meet you very soon on this weekend on the Peace Ambassador event, where we are actually raising our voice for peace in our hearts from within and also in our communities. It's so needed in this moment. And we are standing for something that we really need to bring more attention. So thank you so much, Kim. Any message that you want to finish this conversation together?
I think my message would be to women that's listening out there, and men, even men, if you're a man and you feel that passion burning inside of you, reach out and be an ally. Allyship is really needed, but it has to be something from your heart. For the women that's listening out there, join communities, join outreach programs like this event we're having this weekend. It's an opportunity to come out and meet people. It's an opportunity to share your values and your beliefs. Like if you looked around us today, there's wars everywhere. The message of peace, the message of hope is truly important. Being a peace ambassador is not a fashion word for me in any way, shape, or form. It's an ability for us to get our messages out there, use our voice, use our platform, be authentic, show up authentically, and represent the world in a unified platform.
Yes, that's it. Creating a ripple effect, especially coming from our hearts with peace, is so important. And we encourage you to come on the weekend for our Peace Ambassador event, which is going to be right on Bay Street here in Toronto. If you're not here in Toronto, you just listen to this conversation, I welcome you to actually do the same thing in your community. I love to see this growing everywhere. And I know that this is something that as humans, we are needing more and more. So thank you so much for your listening for so long. And I can't wait to have you in the next week. Thank you so much, Kim. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, Joa. Thank you. Was looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yes.
Take care.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.